In this video, I'm going to take a look at some footage from the DJI Osmo Pocket, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and today I'm going to go through some footage that I recorded on my DJI Osmo Pocket over the last day. I was out and about running some errands, and I brought the Osmo Pocket with me, and I'm going to go over those right now in this video. And I'm going to do a little bit of voiceover on some of the different clips just to add a little bit of context and what was going on with the video clip at that time and some of my thoughts. And to remove any confusion, when I'm talking through this microphone that I'm using right now, which is a Blue Yeti mic, I'm going to put the Blue Yeti logo on the screen so you know that's audio coming from the Blue Yeti and not the Osmo. And then all the other audio that you might hear will be from the Osmo Pocket itself.
Maggie, come here. Come here. Can you sit down? Maggie, come here. Come here. Sit down. No, come here. Come here. Sit down. Give me a paw. Do shake. Shake. Oh, good girl. Give me a paw. What's wrong? Look at the camera. Maggie. Maggie, come on, look at me. What are you doing? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Maggie, come here. Come here. Maggie, come here. Come here. Come here. Here, give me a paw. Give me a paw. Shake.
So in this section of the video, I'm driving down the street with the window open, and the Osmo Pocket just kind of pointed out to the left of the driver's side location. And you can hear some noise from the car going over some speed bumps on the street, and you don't really notice that in the actual video. And just as a reminder, none of the video that you see here has been edited at all in post-production. No color adjustments or anything. So this is just straight out of the camera, out of the Osmo Pocket, not connected to the phone. So just the auto settings as you would, hit record on 1080p, 60 frames per second. Hey everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and today I'm looking at the DJI Osmo Pocket, and I got to do some shopping, so I was going to bring this with and just do a little bit of recording kind of as I'm going through my day here, just to see what it's like, walking around. And right now, like for instance, I'm in the car. I just want to see what the audio sounds like and see how the face tracking works. I have the face tracking following my face right now. It seems to do a pretty good job of kind of, tracking your face, moving the gimbal, regardless of kind of how you move it. It does keeps the green the green boxes around my head, so it looks like it is working, although my head is pretty big. I don't know how you could miss it. I am recording this in 1080p, 60 frames a second, just because I think a lot of people that get this are not going to be recording in 4K. I mean, it's just you know, my opinion, 4K, still not a lot of people do it, right? You need a lot of editing power, a lot of computer power to edit. The file sizes are huge. You know, if you want to get high quality when you upload to something like YouTube, you have to have, you know, constant bitrate, 100 megabits a second, all that sort of thing. You end up with lots of huge files and all of that. So I personally have been still sticking to 1080, just because of it's easier to edit, it's easier to upload, it's in all of that. Especially with my family stuff or personal videos and that sort of thing. I just don't see the need at the moment for 4K. So that being said, I'm going to do some tests using 4K at some point. But today I wanted to kind of just see what the 1080p looks like. Again, 60 frames a sec, just so some of the motion is not as choppy. I found that using 1080 on my DJI Osmo Mobile 2 with my iPhone, I had a lot of stuttering, you know, when it was at the lower frame rate. So, anyways, like I said, just going about my day. So one thing I'll say is that I don't know how this is working. The sun is right in my face, or how the audio is, but it's hard to see the screen, I will say that much. So the face active track is working, but I will say that it's hard to see the screen in the sunlight. So that's one thing I think is a negative so far with this. You know, based on just the few minutes or the little bit of time that I've been using it, is that screen is hard to see. Now I haven't adjusted the. Not lost my face. It lost my face in the sun there. Yeah, so what I'll say is that it's hard to see in the sunlight. I haven't adjusted the brightness on the screen. I think it might be able to go up a little bit more. So I might have to try that and see if that helps any. Yeah, and it keeps losing me as the subject. The other thing I'll say is that the hand strap that's attached, that attaches to this, it's almost a little bit useless. So that's one thing I already noticed. I almost dropped this thing a few times, and again, maybe I got to get used to it in my pocket or whatever, but just in the store, putting it in my pocket, taking it out of my pocket, you know, it's it's kind of a weird place to put the hand strap. It's almost like you need two. One for the Osmo Pocket itself when you're holding it, because it feels like you're going to drop it. I'll be honest, this thing, I think I almost dropped it a few times, even just trying to take it out of this case and put it back in the case and put it in my pocket. So while I like the idea of this case, maybe it's just me having to get used to it a little bit more, and etc., or the fact that I was trying to do this while I'm pushing a shopping cart and all that stuff. It's probably not the best experience. I'm not vlogging my shopping trips. I don't think I would be doing with this on a normal basis. So anyways, so far, a few things I've noticed. Hand strap on here, kind of pointless. It would be better if it was actually on the Osmo. And I have to take a look at their accessories. I think there might be an accessory that has some sort of better grip holder or something like that. So that is that. Face tracking, easy to lose the subject if you're doing too much moving around. Now, I also don't have that on the fast active track. It's just on the slow. So that might have played a part in that. But like I said, I just was putting stuff in my trunk, and I noticed a few times it lost my face. So there's a lot of harsh sunlight out, and one thing I definitely think I'm going to need, or I think is going to be required for this, is a set of ND filters. Just because I'm not sure what the camera's doing with the frame rate and the ISO and all of that on auto mode, in order to keep the exposure okay in a bright sunlight. So I'm anxious to see what this looks like. And right now I have like some shadows on my face and some super bright sun below that, and on the screen it looks kind of blown out on the bottom, and it also looks blown out in my windows behind me. One other thing I just noticed when I put this down in the car is that the gimbal puts itself in some sort of protected mode. I think it senses that there's resistance against the gimbal motor, because I put it on the seat while it was still on, and it said, you know, put in. It was, I can't remember, the message said something about gimbal in protected mode. Press the screen to resume. So that's nice. So in case you put it somewhere, or stick it in your pocket or whatever, and it's still on, it's not gonna probably break or fry the motors, because it turns it off, it seems. Or it turns the motors off. The device was still on. The other thing I'm testing right now is I just have the window open in the car. I want to see how good, you know, what does this sound like when I'm in the car talking, and a lot of stuff going on. So I've been still driving. I'm going to be at the grocery store now. And again, so I'm just driving around a little bit. I did some video out the window. The one thing I noticed in just holding this, even in a vlogging situation like this, it's hard to hold the thing without covering up the bottom microphone on the bottom of it. So I've been kind of balancing my thumb on the front and my pinky finger underneath on the back, towards the back, not towards the front, because that's where the camera is. So, I mean, I guess it works. It's one of those things where you got to get used to, I think, how you hold this, and how you're planning on using it if you're going to do vlogging with the camera. Hey guys, I'm on my way home and I'm just checking out the Dodge dealer over here. It's a nice car. 2016 Challenger. Nice tinted windows. It's a nice car. It's definitely a beautiful car. Some other ones over here. Although I would think that they'd try to clean these things a little bit more. They look like crap. And then you got my beautiful Crown Victoria. Yeah. I definitely like muscle cars. In the past, I've owned a few different things. I had a 1997 Cobra, Mustang Cobra. I rebuilt a 1967 Mustang. Did a lot of work on that. Had a 2008 Corvette base model, as well as a 2011 Camaro 2SS. 6-speed. The LS3 engine, and all those are gone. my fun cars are over. My fun times were over when I had kids that needed tuition and all kinds of stuff like that. But anyways, I really like I like the Dodge. I like the Challengers, or even the Chargers are pretty cool. You know, if you needed a 4-door. Anyways, one thing that's hard to tell is on the screen when you're in recording mode for at least 1080p. Like my face is in the frame, I can see, but it looks like the top of my head is cut off. But I don't know if that's just because of the way the camera is showing the preview, because it's a square formatted sort of thing, or if my head is actually cut off. So if my head is cut off, then not quite sure the best way to do that, because the face tracking is on. I would think that it would try to keep the face and everything centered. But just even back to the cars that I just stopped, because there's a bunch of dealerships on my way home. I have, right now, I'm driving it's pretty old, but it's a nice car. It's a 2004 Ford Crown Victoria LX Sport. So it has kind of the police interceptor type, you know, it's got the beefier engine, the beefier suspension, and all that stuff. And it's a pretty good car. It's got 88,000 miles on it. You know, have had some random, you know, water pump, and it has an air suspension in the back that I swapped out for just regular springs. You know, and I've put some money into it just because, you know, some things have gone wrong here and there. And it's, you know, it's a 14-year-old car at this point. And there's not much technology in this thing at all, right? It is just an old car. Yeah, you know, it is. Big beast. It's a V8, gets probably average of 16, 17 miles per gallon. Combination of, you know, driving on the highway in the city. But really, I'm just holding out for, you know, I don't want another gasoline car personally, for myself. And I really like the Teslas, but the Tesla Model S, the Model X, you know, those are super expensive, you know, way more than I am comfortable spending on a depreciating asset. Not an investment, I can tell you that much. So I was kind of hoping and waiting for the Tesla Model 3 that comes out, or that's supposed to come out, that Elon said it was going to come out at $35,000. And if I, you know, if there is a base model that's $35,000, or, you know, they're around that amount, you know, to me that's something that even mid-$30,000 car, you know, plus tax, all that kind of stuff, you're talking 40 grand. That's not chump change, you know. It's a significant amount of money for a car, especially a car that's, you know, like a Tesla now. It's kind of like a smartphone on wheels, which, you know, I buy a new smartphone every year, you know, or every couple of years, you know, you want to upgrade. So it's an interesting situation now with those cars, in that just, you know, the expectation of constant improvement, and the technology is going to improve. You know, I mean, it's already improved a ton over the last few years, at least battery technology, you know, motor efficiency, all that sort of thing. So, but anyways, I'm really kind of holding out for electric car as my next personal daily driver car. So we'll have to see kind of how that all turns out, because right now you can't buy a Tesla Model 3 for under, I mean, practically, with all practicality in what you can configure, you're talking, you know, high 40s, $50,000, $60,000 for a Model 3 extended range, you know, with all the kind of convenience and autopilot features and all of that as part of it. And I don't necessarily even think I would get one that had autopilot on it, right? I would, you know, the safety features alone I think would be good. I like driving cars. I like driving my car. If I had an electric car that was fun to drive, I think I would want to drive it, right? So it's one of those things, like, the technology is cool and the autopilot and all of that. But until it can be like autonomous driving, you know, punch in the destination and, you know, like Jared on Silicon Valley, end up at Airalon in the middle of the ocean.
New destination, 1 Gregory Drive, Airalon. Distance to destination, 4,126 miles. Enjoy your ride.
What's happening?
Until it's like something like that, you know, I'd rather just drive my car anyways. So, you know, if a Model 3 is available within the next year or two at a base price of $35,000, like Elon Musk promised when he said, you know, the Model 3 was going to be a $35,000 car, I think I would get one without any of the extra autopilot fancy features, right? Just give me the car. You know, maybe in a few years I would determine that I would want to pay the extra money and unlock that capability. But yeah, so for a tech channel like T is for Tech, I'd like to have a car that was, you know, that I could do videos for. Anyways, that's just kind of my thinking there. But I like cool cars, and I like muscle cars and all that. So fun stuff. Looking forward to the future. Anyways, back to this the DJI Osmo Pocket. Hopefully this actually has sounded pretty good, because I've done a lot of talking to this, and I hope it doesn't, the audio doesn't suck. So you tell me in the comments below, what do you think about this? Again, I'm just trying to get some footage in just what people might be doing and using this for. I still have to play around with some of the pro features as it is attached to an iPhone or an Android. Like I said, I'm just using this as the Pocket version, so that I can actually, you know, because this is how I would probably use it on a day-to-day basis. I wouldn't be walking around with it attached to my phone on a vacation, probably. You know, I had a lot of issues, not issues, but it was a kind of a pain in the behind to have the Osmo Mobile 2 with my phone tied up as part of, you know, vacation, and you know, walking around and all that, and the phone, and so my ideal situation would be just use this on auto mode, use it like this, you know, just a standalone device, and be able to get some good, you know, good video and pictures and that sort of thing. But again, I you know, for some more creative stuff, I'd be more than happy to hook it up to the phone if I'm going to do some sort of motion lapse or whatever. All right, I'm almost back to my house. So, oh, and the other thing, this thing gets hot. I mean, it gets actually warmer than I would think that it would get. So I don't know if there's some issues with just the way that this thing is. I mean, hopefully it's not overheating, but it feels like it. It's pretty warm, and I don't think I've seen any videos on YouTube where anybody was talking about that. Maybe I did and I just forgot. Okay, all right. Well, I'm back in my house, and I am gonna turn this off, and this will be the last video that's part of this footage review. Thanks again. This is Andrew from T is for Tech, and I'll see you next time.